Our plan will reduce poverty in the black community by 1/3, reduce poverty in the Hispanic community by almost 40%. And includes much more, like an increase in the minimum wage to at least $15 an hour. People tell me that's going to be hard to pass. Florida just passed it. As divided as that state is, they just passed it. The rest of the country is ready to move as well. It should be a national minimum wage of $15 an hour. No one working 40 hours a week should live below the poverty line. That's what it means. If you work for less than $15 an hour and work 40 hours a week, you're living in poverty.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion virus relief package. Now, before I even get into the specifics of why I don't like the package, 1.9 trillion, come on. The printing and spending is out of control, and it's been like that for quite a while, especially right now during virus time. And I understand we got the virus going on and government regulations and shutdowns and stuff like that. I get it, but 1.9 trillion, we're going to print and spend ourselves off a cliff. We keep going, but that's a different story, and I digress. There's quite a few things in the package I have an issue with. Some of the main things, they're going to extend the eviction and foreclosure moratorium until the end of September. So if you are a landlord, you got rental property, whatever the case may be, good luck getting paid anytime soon. Good luck with that, because how are you going to evict anybody? How are you going to, it's going to be an issue. Banks, good luck getting paid. Credit unions, whatever you got, good luck getting paid in this particular point in time for the next 9 months or so. All right. They're also going to extend the unemployment benefit to the end of September, and they're going to increase it to $400 per week. So good luck trying to hire employees that are on unemployment, because they, meaning the federal government, through unemployment and the welfare state, may be able to pay a sedentary person more than you can while they're working. But those are some of the smaller things. The main thing, in my humble opinion, is the federal minimum wage increase to $15. All right. This is entirely too much. It does not make any sense. And I'm going to explain to you why. Now, first of all, isn't the main issue right now with the virus the lack of jobs, the lack of employment? That's why they increased the unemployment insurance. That's why they have the increase on the moratorium for evictions and foreclosures. Then you got the stimulus check, $1,400, because if you already got $600, that'll equal $2,000. So they're giving you all this stuff to help you during a time of unemployment and not having a job. So why would you raise the minimum wage to $15? The problem is not how much you get paid per hour. The problem is not having a job, period. That's the actual issue. So how is raising the minimum wage going to help with unemployment? It doesn't make any sense at all. If anything, it's going to increase unemployment, because people that are advocates of a higher minimum wage don't really understand the way money works. Okay, you can't just say, oh, okay, raise minimum wage and everybody that works a low paid job get paid more money. That's not how it goes. What ends up happening is people are going to end up getting laid off. Some may get paid more, but some are going to get laid off, because not every business can afford to pay that kind of money. All right. There's a lot of expenses that go into a business, especially like brick and mortar. If you got W-2 employee that's in the shop, there's a lot of expense that goes with that. All kind of taxes, all kind of fees and regulations and rules and all types of stuff you got to be able to pay for. Retail store, you got to pay for the product, pay for shrinkage, aka when they get stolen. You got to pay for the infrastructure, all the power, water, gas. I mean, there's so many bills, insurances, expenses you got to pay. And then the biggest expense is your payroll. And a lot of guys and girls that have businesses are pretty much struggling right now. They're hanging on by a thread. So why would you raise their cost of doing business by raising the federal minimum wage? Now, the argument I see all the time, and I see there's a meme on Twitter that has 214,000 likes. It says, if you can't pay $15 an hour to your employees, maybe you shouldn't own a business. But see, that's just a really foolish way of seeing this whole thing. All right. It's not about what somebody deserves or what they think they should have. It's about what's possible. Okay. Not everyone is able to pay that. And really, it's an elitist thing to say, oh, you don't got no money. You shouldn't even have no business. Okay. I, who have a lot of money, meaning billions of dollars in cash like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, only I should have a business. You, peon peasant, should not have a business. All right. So if I'm a guy in the street just trying to get something going and I can't really afford that kind of money, then I shouldn't be able to have a business. It makes no sense at all. It's so dumb, especially in a lot of these low income areas. They say that having a higher minimum wage helps minority people, but it really doesn't, because a lot of minorities are in low income areas where having that very high minimum wage is going to be a hindrance into getting into business. So what else are you going to do? Just leech off the government or become a criminal or leave somewhere else and then leave the community further in despair because nobody's there that can start a business and employ people, right? Now, Amazon, Walmart, Target, all these big box stores, big bank stores, oh, they love the higher minimum wage, all right? Walmart would lobby to have a higher minimum wage. Why? Why would Walmart want to do that? Why would Walmart do that when they're notorious for having very low paid employees and all their stuff comes from China, the cheapest stuff possible? Why would they advocate for a higher minimum wage? It's because everybody's got to pay it. Not just Walmart, but everyone. Walmart knows they could take a hit of $1 billion and still be able to succeed. Now, granted, the profit is like, what, 16 billion? That appears to be a lot of money, but it's not that much money when you look at their total actual revenue, which is like 400 and something $billion. They have a very slim profit margin of like about 3.5%. As a matter of fact, if you are a business in general, usually you have a pretty small profit margin. Okay, brick and mortar, because you got so many things that go into it, so many expenses, so many rules, regulations, fees, and you got to be competitive with your price and all this and that. And once you get done with all those things, what you're left with is a profit if you're lucky to be able to make one. But going back to Walmart, they would love a higher minimum wage because they know that these small mom and pop shops cannot afford to pay it. They don't have that kind of money. They're going to go out of business. And Walmart, Target, Amazon, they pick up the slack. You can go to Walmart and get whatever you want. Okay, you want a haircut, you want to get your hair done, your nails done. Oh, they got a salon right inside. So if Pam's hair salon went out of business because they had to raise their minimum wage or whatever the case may be, Walmart's still there because they got the hair salon right in the front. If your local eye doctor went out of business, oh, go to Walmart. They got one of them too. Okay, you can't get your tools and your hardware supplies. Oh, Walmart got that too. Home Depot, they got that too. Rather than going to your small hardware store, your local hardware store, just go to Home Depot or Lowe's. It helps big business because they can take a big hit of $1 billion and still be able to keep ticking. A small shop cannot even afford, the next $1,000 without going out of business. Some may say they don't deserve to be there, but tell that to the employees. Tell that to the guy who's just struggling, trying to make a living for himself, that owns a business. Most businesses are small. They said 99% of businesses are small in America, and 70% of employees work for a small business. So you got to put things in context. A higher minimum wage would just help those at the very top, period. And if you are an employee right now, you think you might get a raise. Let's say you make $8 an hour, and you say, I'm going to get $15 an hour. Well, how do you know that it's going to be you that gets the raise? If I'm an employer, I would hire a better person at the $15 because now I can afford them. And ultimately, what it's going to lead to is a higher cost of living, goods and services is going to go up. If I'm going to stay in business and I cannot afford the higher minimum wage, I have to raise my prices. I have to raise the cost that the customer pays in order to pay the minimum wage. So if you are a minimum wage worker, you're going to see your $15 quickly become $10 in value. And how about this, though? One of the funniest things is when people like Joe Biden say, oh, well, if you work 40 hours a week, you should not live in poverty. So that's the dog whistle I always hear, because you're not going to get 40 hours a week working minimum wage. If you do, you're one of the very few that ever gets that. And employers want to keep you below 30 hours. That was the whole Obamacare thing. If you work more than 30 hours, you got to get Obamacare. That's another expense. I don't want to pay that. You working at McDonald's, I'm not going to pay you health care. Okay, so just go back there and fry, grill, fry them fries and the hamburgers or whatever, chickens, and just go about your day. That's pretty much it's what they want you to do. So they're not going to give you these benefits. They're not going to give you no full-time hours. Nah, they put you on the schedule for 15, 20 hours, and that'll pretty much be it. So you're not going to get the 40 hours. If you were getting 40 hours at 725, you might get cut. Your hours might get cut to 20 hours. So let's just say for math's sake, you were getting paid $7.50 an hour. You get a raise to $15. So rather than having your pay doubled, your hours just got cut in half. You see how that works? So you're making the same amount of money you're making before. Also, automation is going to come into play. You go to McDonald's right now, in a lot of parts of the country, ain't nobody in the front taking your order. You know, you got a kiosk. You just punch in what you want at the kiosk and then have that be that. Or you got an app. How about that? You go to Chick-fil-A, you just punch in what you want on the app and pick it up straight from the window. You don't even got to go inside. You're going to have less jobs available because of the higher minimum wage. And it's funny how you can volunteer for free. That's not a problem. You can do things on your own for free. That's not a problem. But if you work at a place and get a W-2 form, you got to have a higher minimum wage federally. There's ways around that as well. You can get 1099. If you're on a 1099, tax form, that means you're a private contractor. Think Uber and Lyft. Okay, they don't get paid no minimum wage. They get paid whatever they can make off of basically commission from their rides. Okay, that's kind of where we're going. Everything virtual as well. If everything is virtual, nobody's in the office, what's the point in paying you on a W-2 as an employee? You could just be a subcontractor. I'll get 1099 at the end of the year. And then you take care of your own health care, whatever. You do that. That'll be the next direction. You're going to offshore more jobs. Try calling the call center right now, for customer service. It'd be somebody with an Asian accent talking about their name is John. It's like, I know your name is not John or Susan or whatever. You calling me from Shanghai, China, or you calling me from Thailand or somewhere. I know your name is not John, so cut it out. But anyway, things are going to get offshored. 1099s. Automation is going to be real big. Automation is already a thing that kind of exists and has taken some jobs, but it'll increase because if a machine over the course of 3 years may cost less than a worker at $15 an hour, I'm gonna get the machine. And I don't have EEOC to deal with. I don't have any kind of liabilities. I don't got any kind of insurances and taxes. And, the variables of a human being, they don't need to get trained. All they got to do is get serviced. And I have a contract with a service company to come out and work on the machine. Okay. If you want to make more money as I close, just get better skills. That's the main thing you got to do. Get better skills. Don't rely upon the federal government to make a company give you more money. It will not work out the way you think it's going to work out. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that it's a good idea for the federal government to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or is it a bad idea? Should it be a minimum wage? If you ask me, I say there should be no minimum wage at all. People are going to say, hey, ABL, what's to prevent a company from exploiting somebody? Well, you got to want to work there. This ain't slavery no more. You got to want to work there. And the market's got to be able to bear it. If you working at a place will not take care of anything, it won't buy anything, then it won't make any, just simply won't do it. You be able to go outside and bump for change and get paid more than working the job. And that's why the whole thing with the unemployment insurance is a problem, because that amount of money is a lot. $400 per week is a lot to some people. And they may just quit their job totally and do that and live on that. Don't incentivize laziness, inaction, or the inability to get work because it's too expensive to hire somebody. Don't look out for the big bank while destroying the little banks. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.